The Talksport Fan Network.
The ultimate on-demand destination for the UK's best fan-led football podcasts.
Want authentic supporter insight on all things Bournemouth? Follow Up the Cherries in all departments on the Talksport Fan Network.
Club-dedicated content created by the fans, for the fans.
Search Talksport Fan Network.
Wow, 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 wow. Is it ever going to end? I tell you what, I am absolutely loving it. I've got to do this reaction video after our win at St James's Park on Saturday. You know, of course, it is Monday now, but the celebrations haven't stopped. They are still ongoing. This football club is going somewhere, and it's all thanks to Andoni Iraola, the man that I turned round. And I'll admit it, I'm not going to get rid of videos and turn around and say I didn't say it. I did say it right at the start of his tenure. Yeah, I knew what he had done at Rayo Vallecano, which was amazing, fantastic. But I didn't think that what worked in Spain was going to work for AFC Bournemouth, and I didn't think we had the playing personnel, even though Andoni has shown, at Vallecano that he was a great manager. He's shown it at AFC Bournemouth now. This is unbelievable. There is questions, and there's a lot of people now that have said after this game, and even before it as well, that Andoni Iraola is a better manager than Eddie Howe. Now, I want to have my say on that as well. And the reason I want my say on that is I think that, every Bournemouth fan has got their opinions, and that's fine. But I personally think that it's two separate situations. We wouldn't be in this situation if it wasn't for Sir Eddie. Sir Eddie is still the Messiah to me. He is still the God. He is still the man that got us here. If it wasn't for Sir Eddie Howe, we would be probably playing Morecambe Barrow, Harrogate Town, AFC Wimbledon, Bradford, Bromley. Who else? We would have played Sutton United last year. We would have played Forest Green Rovers last year. We would have played a lot of the old stomping ground, and of course some new places that have come up from the National League. We could have even been in the National League if it wasn't for Sir Eddie Howe. But Sir Eddie Howe come in, saved us, took us through the leagues. Yeah, he went to Burnley, he come back. But we've got so much to be thankful to Eddie for. And without Eddie, we would not have had Andoni. So this isn't me turning around and, saying that Andoni's better than Eddie Howe. If you're wanting that, I don't know. Go have a look at, somewhere like X. But I'm saying that both of these managers, Andoni has put himself after this result and after what he is doing, he's probably put himself in that same category of legendary managers at AFC Bournemouth. I've got to be honest, this performance for me was the best performance we have ever had in the Premier League. That's no disrespect to Eddie. That's no disrespect to Eddie at all. Eddie was playing with a different playing field, but this was something else. This was something else. We could have played any team on that day and we would have beaten them hands down. And that's including Liverpool. That's including Nottingham Forest. Fair play to them. They're up there. We'll see how we get on against them next week. That's Chelsea, Man City, anybody. I think based on what I saw against Newcastle United on Saturday, we would have beaten most teams. We would have beaten most teams across Europe playing like that. Bring on Barcelona, bring on Real Madrid. Or I'm probably getting a bit ahead of myself. Can we get European football? I said, back at the start of the season, I would have been happy, delighted with 10th. Bill Foley, fair play to him, has got different ideas. Andoni Iraola has got different ideas. They've both got completely different ideas of what they're aiming for. And Champions League football could potentially even be within our remits. Talksport, Simon Jordan, Martin Keown and Jim White were talking about AFC Bournemouth getting into the Champions League. take it back bloody to 2008, 2009, we were talking about, staying in the Football League, -17. We was looking at Morecambe, and all these teams, and panicking, fretting, Barnet. We was worried about dropping out of the Football League, which could have potentially killed this football club. Now we are on the verge of doing something that is absolutely unthinkable. Yes, some people, I even saw some comments about the bloody title. Hey, don't get me wrong, I'd love to do a Leicester, but, let's not get ahead of ourselves here. The Champions League, though, wow, it's ridiculous just to think that we could be on the verge of it. So this game against Newcastle United, when I spoke to Carl from a fantastic Newcastle channel, I turned round and I said, the wheels are probably going to fall off at some point. We've got so many injuries. This squad is absolutely torn apart with injuries. And Andoni Iraola just seems to overcome it each time. We've lost Evan Nilsson, our main striker. Enis Unal, who we hoped would stake a claim and show us what he could do, got an ACL the day after. And I'm really gutted for Enis. But with no strikers, we brought back Daniel Jebison, who Watford fans were moaning and whinging about like they always do. They were whinging like no tomorrow about him. Daniel Jebison's come back, and I tell you what, when I've seen him, he looks pretty decent. He looks pretty decent under Andoni Iraola. If Cleverly can't get a tune out of him, then maybe that needs to be looked at Watford. But I tell you what, let's forget Watford. This performance was absolutely exquisite. It was unique. It was outstanding. It was, for a 12:30 kickoff, thanks TNT Sport, absolutely ridiculous. But hey, at least lots of people got to see it. This was absolutely outstanding. Absolutely outstanding. Now, of course, Justin Kluivert has done something his own father hasn't done. He scored a hat-trick at St James's Park. He scored a hat-trick, his second hat-trick of the season at St James's Park. The first one was special enough against Wolves when he scored 3 from the penalty spot. Now, the thing is when on the penalty spot, you expect the goalkeeper to go, right, okay, there's a trend here. He's doing this, he's doing that. No. Justin Kluivert got it in the back of the net each time. Bloody brilliant. And now he scored 3 against Newcastle, and they were 3 really good goals. The second, I think Newcastle stuffed up a little bit at the back, but other than that, it was excellent. We had 19 shots, 10 of them on target. Milos Kerkez, I've got to say, what a bloody unbelievable goal that was. It was fantastic. David Brooks should have had a goal. He should have had that goal. Dongo Watara actually put it in the back of the net, but it was ruled off. I tell you what, it could have been 6-7-1 at St James's Park. And I tell you what, it is absolute. I'm so proud of this football club and what we are doing, what we are performing like, how we are putting ourselves about. We're pressing. Andoni Iraola is pressing from the front. He keeps going. He keeps playing fantastic football. We're not worried about going to St James's Park to face a team who were on a great run of form. We're playing our own game. When Eddie Howe was in charge of this football club, and again, no disrespect to Eddie Howe, we had to kind of adapt ourselves to face that opposition. We had to kind of maybe sometimes go a little bit defensive to get a result. We had to be a little bit scrappy. We had to be a little bit scruffy. But we're playing our exquisite football because we're dictating what we actually do on that football pitch nowadays. And I tell you what is brilliant. Eddie Howe even turned round and said that Newcastle were off in every department. Thanks for the mention, Eddie. Much appreciated. A legend, absolutely a legend at this football club. Love the man to bits. But, I personally don't think Newcastle were that bad. I don't think Newcastle had an off day. What AFC Bournemouth did was they performed out of their skins. That you take most teams across the Premier. I'll tell you what. Any team across the Premier League, be it Man City, Arsenal, whoever, we would have beaten them playing like we did. You take a lot of teams in Europe, we would have beaten the way we did. The way we play, the style, our impetus, our threats. Look at our right back position. We haven't got a fit right back, but Lewis Cook stands in and he makes that position his own. It's absolutely brilliant. I tell you what, Zabania and Dean Howson, again, absolutely solid at the back. Newcastle's goal, you could probably say there was a little bit of slipping concentration, but who cares? We've won 4-1. And it could, like I say, could have been 6 or 7-1, if things had gone even more in our favour. Tyler Adams, I'm sorry, I did mention and I'd said that I doubted you. I thought, you was injury prone. I thought a bit of a sick note. Bloody brilliant, absolutely bloody brilliant in that midfield. Ryan Christie doesn't give up. He's like a bloody Duracell bunny. He is absolutely outstanding. David Brooks, he's overcome one of the worst things that could ever happen to anybody. And he carries on and he's outperforming, even what he did before he had, that Hodgkin's lymphoma. And, it's so great to see him back to his very, very, very best. He surpassed what he did beforehand. And that is a true professional. And, full credit to David Brooks. He's just brilliant. Anton Semenyo, I could sing till I'm blue in the face about Anton. I absolutely love the man. I think he is a man that is going to be in high demand, but why will he want to go anywhere like Man United, which was mentioned a couple of weeks back, or Tottenham Hotspur? Because at the end of the day, the Cherries could be going into Europe, not you, not you. Dongo Watara, nay, I said before, that he gets 9 things wrong and 1 thing right, but when it does go right, it is exquisite. Somehow, Iraola has got bloody everything right, in his game. I think Iraola has brought him on leaps and bounds. That man at the top is outstanding. We can't forget, of course, Tommy Elphick, Sean Cooper, the rest of the team as well. This is absolutely exquisite to watch. Kepa, a goalkeeper. Yeah, I have had my reservations with him. I did say about Mark Travers, but it says a lot about this football club that I'm moaning and saying, oh, Kepa's not, good enough to actually play in goal, and we should have Mark Travers in goal. Kepa is a very, 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 very good goalkeeper. It says a lot about AFC Bournemouth. It says a lot about Mark Travers. It says a lot about this whole squad. The youngsters on the bench have been absolutely, stepped up to the mark. Ben Winterburn, fair play to him, full credit. These youngsters deserve to be on the bench. Jebison, like I say, he's come back in, after a torrid time at Watford. And again, he has absolutely shone. Absolutely shone. I, one man, of course, I've already mentioned him, Justin Kluivert. Well, what more can I say about that man? He's done what his father hasn't done. He could well be going into the Champions League, which his dad did do. We need to keep this squad together because Andoni Iraola, and of course we need to keep the main man because he is something else. He is something else. This squad is absolutely unbelievable. And, I can't see us not getting European football now. Playing like we are, I can't see us not getting European football. If that's not Champions League, so be it. Europa League, it would be an adventure. Europa Conference League, yeah, we might be a little bit gutted by that, but at the end of the day, hey, look at where we've come from. To say that we're even gutted about, potentially going into the Europa Conference League is absolutely, I'll tell you what, let's start pinching ourselves. Because, years ago, facing off against Huddersfield in a bloody playoff semi-final and losing that, you cannot make this up. It is an absolutely beautiful story. Our new signings are going to be really exciting when they get going as well. Akimboni, of course, Zane Silcott-Dewberry as well. Julio Sola. There we are. I say what, he looks like he's going to be a great player as well after what he did against West Brom. This club are going somewhere. And this is a warning to the rest of the Premier League that this is, AFC Bournemouth are going nowhere. They're going absolutely nowhere. That performance at St James's Park against a very, very good Newcastle United squad was exquisite. It was exquisite. Newcastle fans, I know that you might be saying, well, we played crap and all this. I don't think you did. I think that this squad have done, and we've been threatening this for a couple of weeks. We've been threatening this a couple of weeks. I spoke to Rory Jennings on his show on Talksport after the game, and I turned around to him and I said, I'm going to upset you now, Rory. I said, but, really, we should have come away with the 3 points from Stamford Bridge. And he said, yeah, you're not going to upset me. You should have. You should have. It was only that last-minute equaliser from a great free kick, in his mind, that actually equalled the game. Of course, Neil Moss has had his say, and I personally agree with Neil that there was a little bit of argy-bargy in that box. And I think that, maybe it could well have been, ruled out for that. But hey, long may it continue. You think this could have been even better. We should have beaten Newcastle at home. Dongo Watara's header, of course, it was closer in my mind to Dan Burns' hand than it was Dongo's hand. Leicester, away from home, we were, shot shy that day. But, hey, playing like we are at the moment, we would have absolutely creamed Leicester. Chelsea at home. We were all over Chelsea. We were hitting the target left, right, and centre. We had a penalty that Evan Nielsen missed. Again, playing like this, we would have won that game. We are absolutely outstanding. This football club is going somewhere. AFC Bournemouth are going into Europe. I couldn't be prouder of the squad. I hope Andoni sees this video, because it will hopefully epitomise everything that every Bournemouth fan is thinking at this moment in time, which is where we've come from, what we've done in the past. This is absolutely incredible. Comments, leave your thoughts. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for joining me. Up the Cherries. And who do you fancy? Barcelona? Real Madrid? Roma? Maybe Atalanta? Paris Saint-Germain? Let's take our pick. We'll be happy with anything. I tell you what, hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the bell button, and we'll see you in the next video. Thank you for joining us. Up the Cherries.
The Talksport Fan Network.
The ultimate on-demand destination for the UK's best fan-led football podcasts.
Want authentic supporter insight on all things Bournemouth? Follow Up the Cherries in all departments on the Talksport Fan Network.
Club-dedicated content created by the fans, for the fans.
Search Talksport Fan Network.